How's it going? I'm so excited that you're here and that you're tuning in for this video. So today we're going to talk about branding and specifically what all those branding terms actually mean, because there are only about half a dozen of them, and to be quite honest with you, I didn't understand the difference or the importance of each and every little piece until about a year ago. And I've been running a branding and web design business for more than 5 years. So, if I didn't know what they mean, then that probably means you don't know what they mean. So, I want to get you clear on exactly what branding is, what all those branding terms are, how they apply to you and your business, and how to use them to create a better coaching business, because that's what we're here to do. So if you haven't been here before, if we haven't met before, I'm Cassandra Ewert. Please call me Cass. Everyone does. And I am a brand coach and a brand and website designer. And I've been doing these things for years. And my purpose is to help you build a better coaching business, because bottom line, I want you to make money. Okay, so we're going to get started, and I'm going to teach you about all those branding terms, and I'm going to do it in a fun way, and you're going to get to watch me draw on my iPad as I walk you through what all these branding terms mean, how they interconnect, how they flow together, and get it all mapped out so that you know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so here we are on my fancy iPad in my Procreate app, and essentially this is just a really simple way for you to watch me draw, because I wanted to present these terms and this information and the structure of branding and what it means in a way that would really stick out in your brain and make sense. So we are going to dive in, and you get to watch me draw. Hopefully it's soothing and not, scary and frustrating. So to get started, we have up here at the top an overarching box, and we are calling this your business. Okay, so this is basically the entirety of your coaching business. And I'm really, really sorry that I am a designer who can't draw a straight line. That's a true story and one of my deep personal shames in life. Not really. I've pretty much gotten over it because it's never changed. So anyway, we are now going to divide the business into two sections. So we have on the left and we have on the right. On the left, we're going to go over this section first because this isn't what I want to talk to you about, but we have your business objectives, okay? And within your business objectives, we have your business strategy. Strategy, G-Y, okay. And then under that, we have two more sections, and oops, I almost wrote the word salsa and then I meant to write the word sales. So sales, which is your products, your services, and your money. Obviously, the money that you make, right? Like big old money. That's the good stuff right there. And then in this side, we have the growth, okay? So this applies to your followers, it applies to your public relations and PR and press, it applies to your publicity, things of that nature. So essentially, like all the things you do to grow your business and get yourself in front of more people, right? Now, let's move over to this other side that I left blank for a minute. This is your brand strategy. Oops, just kidding. I went one step too far. Just kidding. This is your branding. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a nerd. Okay, so your branding is everything to do with how you present yourself. Does that make sense? So when we say the word brand or branding, let me add that in there. We're essentially talking about how people think and feel and react to everything else, like how they think about you, how they think about your services, how they talk about you to their friends, how they feel about you when they are looking at you. Okay, so your branding and your brand is really, when you boil it down, it's the emotional response that people have to your business. Okay, that's why it's separate from your business objectives, because your business objectives, the business strategy, the sales, the growth, all of that stuff, though, that's analytical. It's metrics. It's, having KPIs and ROIs and all those other marketing terms and goals terms and all that kind of stuff. But your branding, it's the emotional side of your business. Okay. Now, on that note, we're going to move on to the next section, which is your now brand strategy. So, your brand strategy is essentially how you're going to make those people feel the way you want them to feel about your business. Okay, so branding is how people feel, and your brand strategy is how you control getting them to feel that way. Which sometimes you can't control it, but we love this illusion that we have perfect total control over everything. And when you're building a business, you kind of need to try to control it, or at least push people in the right direction to get them to like you and know you and trust you. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about creating the things that will help people know, like, and trust you. Okay? So there are two sections to this one. And, ooh, look, I have almost square boxes. I'm really impressed with myself. Okay, on the left, we have your brand messaging. Okay, I'm sure you've heard the term brand messaging. And if not, then boy, am I glad you're watching this video, because you really need to know what it is. Your brand messaging is your purpose, your mission, your values, your personality, your, can't write that fast, the tone of voice that you speak in, and also like your personal story, your brand story, whatever you want to call it, but the story of how you came to be and how you came to be doing what you're doing, right? And your messaging is really how people get to know you, okay? It's really about building that connection, building that relationship, getting people to trust you and understand you and like you. And I mean, it's essentially the core of your business, really. Because if you took away all of the other things, if you took away the business objectives and you didn't have any of that stuff going on, and you took away let's just write it in here, the brand identity, which is the design, right? If you took away the visual stuff and all you had to do was go out and speak to people and talk to them and tell them, which, by the way, is a very effective strategy, right? That's why we have networking events and why people can make so much money at a networking event, because you go out there and you share your personality and you tell your story and you explain your purpose and your mission and your values and all those things. And people say, oh my God, I love you so much. I'm signing. Here's my money. Take my credit card, right? That's why you can go out and network with people and make money, because you don't need the design and the identity and like all of that kind of stuff to build a business. You need this core fundamental piece right here that is called brand messaging. And I say this as a designer who sells brand identity design and all those things. This right here, this is what you need. We're going to talk about that in the rest of this video. Anyway, let's keep going. Your brand identity is your logo, right? Your colors, your photos, your fonts, your graphics, like any quote cards that you make or any social media graphics, collateral, business cards, brochures, ebooks, workbooks, all that kind of stuff, right? And then your website. Oh, I love the website. Anyway, that is your brand identity, right? So let me just put the design. Ta-da! Okay. Now, you might notice there's a big gap in the middle. Interesting. Funny how that works, right? We have one more section, well, really two more sections, but we have one more section to fill in the middle here. And this one is kind of the bridge between your business strategy and your brand strategy. It's the thing that brings them together, puts your growth and your sales and your followers and your money and your services and your publicity. All together with your messaging, your purpose, your mission, your personality, your tone, and also your design, the logo, the fonts, the colors, the website, all that kind of stuff. It puts everything together in order to reach more people. And this now should almost make sense when I write in here your marketing tactics. Okay, so your marketing is how you bring the business strategy and the brand strategy together to reach more people. And each of these different sections here are applied in your marketing. So when we're talking about marketing tactics, we're talking about social media, right? So you're posting on social media, your blog or podcast or any other kind of content that you're creating. Your advertising, and advertising can mean so many things, right? Like obviously we think about Facebook ads as online business owners, but it can also be magazine advertising. It could be billboard advertising if you're in some cool situation or niche or something that like would serve, like billboards would serve your business. That would be awesome. If you need a billboard, dang, I want you to reach out to me and tell me what you're doing and why you put it up and how it's working for you. Okay, that would be awesome. It's also your email list, like the content you send, your newsletters. It's, any giveaways that you do. It's networking. Hey, right? So we just talked about networking and how networking really just needs those pieces right there to be amazing. It's your referrals and your referral system. It's SEO, and it's any like events that you run. Maybe you are going and speaking on other people's stages, right? Anything like that. Okay. So your marketing, like I said, is the combination of your business strategy and your brand strategy and, putting all those things together in order to reach your money goals and present yourself the way you want to look and share your brand personality and increase your followers. Okay? So there's one little final piece to this, and I'm running out of room on my page, so bear with me here. But we have one final piece at the bottom, and I'm sorry I don't have enough room and I can't draw a straight line, so it looks like garbage. But you have this little box here. And this box, if you can even call it a box, it's more like a scribble, sorry, is something that applies to your sales and your growth and your marketing tactics and your brand messaging and your brand identity. And it's the piece of the puzzle that is most important in building your business. And that is your, let's see if I can write this in here, dream clients. Hey, it's the people you are doing all of this for, right? So when you are creating your business strategy and your brand identity and your brand messaging and your growth tactics and creating your marketing tactics, you always need to be looking at and thinking about how your dream clients are going to feel and react to all of those things that you build and create, because they are number one focus in your business. Bottom line, end of story. Like, that is it. They are the number one focus. Always. 100%. Guaranteed. I don't know how many more ways I can make it clear. This is, in a nutshell, your business, the structure of your business. And it's all the things that you need to know and put together. But really, there's certain places that you need to start first. And that's what we're going to cover in the rest of this video, is where to start. You might be able to kind of, figure it out, but I have some tips and some tricks and some recommendations for you in the next sections. So stay tuned. Okay, now that we've talked about what branding is and you've seen my excellent little drawing that looks like junk, I will be the first to admit, but it gets the job done, right? Let's talk about what branding means for you. As a coach, you are building a personal brand more than any other kind of brand. You're building a brand that is centered around you and your personality and who you are as a person, right? It's not about standing for a certain company value or presenting a company persona is probably the better term, or it's not about being a corporation, right? And having some very stiff, stilted kind of meaning and positioning and all that kind of stuff. Building a coaching brand is about building a brand around you, because you are the person that people are coming to work with. You're the one who is working one-on-one or in small groups or however you work with your clients to help them change their lives. And that's a very intimate relationship. I don't mean intimate in a weird way or a negative way, but I mean intimate in that people have to trust you. They have to understand that you are there just for them. You're not there with an ulterior motive of selling them some refrigerator or some new shoes or whatever products or anything like that. You're not there trying to sell them software. You are trying to help them be better versions of themselves. And that requires them to have a certain understanding and trust in who you are as a person. That is the most important part of the whole branding puzzle for your business, which means that the most important part is your brand strategy, right? Because that's the piece that we went over that has all of your purpose, mission, values, and it encompasses your brand messaging and also your brand identity design, but that's kind of a little off center of what we're talking about here. Your messaging and your strategy, your messaging being your personality, tone, story, purpose, mission, etc., and strategy being how you are getting that information in front of your dream clients. That's the most important part of branding as a coach. That's what you need to focus on creating and evolving and working on right now. So, in the next section, I'm going to talk about where to start with building your brand. And hint, hint, it's kind of what I just ended talking with, but I'm going to give you some more detail on it. Okay, Cass, where do I start with building my brand? Well, you're going to both love this answer and hate this answer if you are like most of my coaching clients. The most important place to start with building your brand is to know who your clients are. Yeah, I said it. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have a perfectly defined niche, that you have to have every single answer, that you need to say, I only work with this type of client for this exact reason. What I am saying is you need to know how you help your clients. What do you help with them? How do you help them? And what are they going to walk away with? Now, sometimes that end result that they walk away with, it can be a little ambiguous from client to client, right? It's not always the same thing. It kind of fluctuates and flows. Some people want, to hit certain goals and milestones and hit it in the exact time frame. Other people want to take kind of a smoother journey, and they are okay with going longer throughout the process in order to reach whatever they're trying to accomplish. And that's okay. But you need to know overall what you're helping people with. What are you helping them achieve? Maybe it's just being more confident. Maybe it is making better decisions. Maybe it's finding their purpose in life. Maybe it's building better relationships. Maybe it's losing the weight. Maybe it is building a stronger business. Maybe it's marketing or sales, or I could go on, right? The niches for coaching are kind of endless. I mean, we could have a coach for everything. And I kind of feel like I need a coach for every different area of my life. And now that I'm saying that, I'm wondering why I don't have like 15 coaches, because like that statement just rang so true. Anyway, my point is you need to understand who your ideal client is and what you help with. Okay. That is the most important place to start. From there, you need to then start working out your purpose, your mission, your personality, the tone of voice that you're going to use when talking to people, your story, your core values, all of those things that build up the brand persona. Okay, that is all of your brand messaging. And from there, that's when you then move on to brand identity design and building a website and all of those things, because the brand messaging fills those other pieces. It informs those other pieces. So I'm not saying that it's not important to have a website. I'm not saying it's not important to have a logo, any of that stuff. I'm a designer. I know exactly how important those things are. What I am saying to you is that those things that you create without understanding your messaging, your purpose, your mission, your values, your personality, and your tone will be wrong. Those things will be wrong if you don't understand your messaging first. Okay, so start with your messaging. Start with all those fun things that are listed off in that diagram. I put a copy of that diagram in the blog post for this YouTube video, so you can just go to our website. I'll put the link below so that you can just jump there quickly from YouTube and take a look at that. Make sure that you have all those things figured out. And if you don't have them all figured out, if you need help with figuring them all out, take a peek inside our resource library, because we have worksheets for quite a few of them, and or also blog posts for quite a few of them that will help you identify them and figure them out and get them written down on paper so that you know who you are as a coach, you know what your brand is trying to achieve, and you can move on from there. Yeah, baby, that sounds fantastic. So those are your assignments for this week, is to start identifying your dream client if you don't have that figured out by now, and to start working on your brand messaging and make it fun. It's not horrible. It's not terrible. It's not this horrific process that is painful and just awful. It's not. It's amazing. And once you get it nailed down, you are going to feel incredible. It's going to be such a game changer. And yeah, I mean, take a look at our resource library, get those worksheets to help you work through them, and have fun with it. And just remember that as a coach, you're building a personal brand, which means your brand messaging and personality can be based on yourself, okay? I was just talking to one of my clients the other day. She said something about, well, I'm really quirky and I'm a little bit weird and I'm not sure that people really get me. And my advice to her was, own it. Be that person. Be exactly who you are. Be quirky and weird and do all the things that you're not sure that people will get. And I bet you they're going to love it. So true. It applies to you. It applies to her. It applies to me. If it didn't, I probably wouldn't go off on little tangents about needing 15 life coaches in my life. So just do it. It's going to be so, so worth it. And have fun with it. And I'm excited for you. And I'll talk to you next week.